I'm really proud today to come and join my fellow senator from New Mexico, Senator Udall, to recognize the life and service of the longest-serving senator from our incredible state of New Mexico, Senator Pete Domenici. Senator Domenici dedicated his entire life to the state and the people that he loved. He served our state in the Senate for 36 years. His decades of service to New Mexico left a lasting impact that will continue to be felt in every corner of our state for many years to come. Many in New Mexico called him St. Pete because of how relentlessly he fought on the appropriations and the budget committees to secure resources for the people of New Mexico. And you can still see the fruits of his labors at our state's national labs, at our military installations, at our colleges and universities, and in water systems and community centers all over our state. And that is because while he worked on the forefront of major policy debates here in the Senate, Pete Domenici always put the interests of New Mexico above all else. Like myself, Senator Domenici's first public service experience came on Albuquerque's City Council, then called the City Commission. And at least in my experience, I know that working at that local level was an invaluable way to learn how to hear from diverse viewpoints and stakeholders and find ways to build consensus and get the results for your constituents that you hope for. I've tried to bring that approach with me into the Senate, and I know that Senator Domenici was in part so successful because of the skills he learned there. I'm grateful for the example that Senator Domenici set for all of us here in this body on how to advance important and complex policy goals in Washington with civility for our colleagues. Republicans and Democrats alike who worked with him on issues like the budget, on energy, on national defense, on nuclear deterrence and mental health parity, still point to his dedication to bipartisan cooperation and compromise. Although they didn't always see eye to eye, Senator Domenici, a Republican, and Senator Jeff Bingaman, a Democrat, who served New Mexico alongside him for the vast majority of his time in the Senate, always made a point of improving the lives of New Mexicans by working together. It set a great example for people like me to watch how the two of them worked together. Their spirit of cooperation across party lines is still present in our state's congressional delegation, and I believe that Senator Domenici's focus on putting policy results above party politics still resonates today. One of the greatest examples of this was Senator Domenici's work alongside two progressive Democratic lions of the Senate, Paul Wellstone and Ted Kennedy, to pass mental health parity legislation. Senators Domenici and Wellstone didn't agree on many issues, but they found something that they had close personal experience with and a passion for. Both senators had close family members who had experienced the great challenges of finding a way to pay for mental health treatment. And insurance companies were not required to cover mental health and addiction treatment in those days in the same way that they covered treatment for so many other illnesses and diseases. Because of that, most insurance companies simply didn't cover these essential services at all. And starting in the mid-90s, Senators Domenici and Wellstone worked together with mental health advocates to advance legislation to finally change that. After Senator Wellstone was killed in a tragic plane crash, Senator Domenici kept up the fight for 6 more years with a new partner in Senator Kennedy. And the Paul Wellstone and Pete Domenici Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act was finally passed in October of 2008, only a few months before Senator Domenici's retirement from the U.S. Senate. That is the type of bipartisanship, of legacy and statesmanship on behalf of the American people that I hope that we will all remember for a long, long time to come. We should all try better to keep that spirit alive in the U.S. Senate today, And I have to say, I join all New Mexicans, all Americans, in mourning the passing of Senator Pete Domenici. Our thoughts and deepest condolences, our prayers are with his wife, Nancy, and all of his family and loved ones at this time of great loss for their family and for the state. And I am certain that Senator Domenici's legacy will not be forgotten in New Mexico, and it will not be forgotten here in the United States Senate. Thank you, Mr. President.